Alle sehen mich, ich sehe euch. Ja, gut.
Morning, Nick.
Hey, hello, everybody.
Hello, Nick. Andrea?
I left my black belt in the dojo.
Oh.
So I will be like this.
Oh, was there supposed to be a dress code?
Yes, of course.
Yes? Oh, no.
Black tie.
A white blob with a black tie.
Okay, then I need to take my gi jacket on, I guess.
Oh. Så det var lite okej.
Adrian, this is for you.
Und Sascha, geht's dir besser?
Ja, besser, aber ich bin noch nicht 100% fit.
Okay.
Man hört es wahrscheinlich auch an meiner Stimme.
Oh ja.
Aber ich habe viel geschlafen. Ich bin deinem Rat gefolgt.
Okay, super.
Viel Tee getrunken.
Okay.
Wenn man die Lampe auf die andere Seite was man später
Okay.
Thank you, Ian. Bum, bum, bum.
Okay. So I think everyone's here. People are going to probably dribble in and out, so all the other teachers are going to kind of keep an eye on the waiting room. So we're going to get started. We've just got quite a packed schedule. So I'm going to start by reading this quote from Saito Sensei because I think it's really great. So I'm going to hope. Can you see me all okay?
Yeah.
Yes.
If you can, try and keep the cameras on, and if you can, keep also the audio on. If it gets really kind of confusing, we'll kind of start to kind of mute people, but as long as you've not got a really noisy environment, try and keep your audio on because it also gives kind of feedback for the teachers as well. So the key thing is the video, but also if you can keep the audio on, this is also great. So yeah, I think this is the third TAE seminar we've done online now since the start of the pandemic. So we're coming right up into winter as we come, and I think from what I hear, most of the dojos are starting to kind of think about reopening in January. So we're kind of continuing with the online training, and in a way, it's a way to aid training and supplement training. So in a way, that the aim of this seminar was, in the new year, we're hopefully going to be returning back to the dojos, and with obviously really full of gratitude that we can get back in and start to train again with partners. So, but the focus for today and tomorrow is the RIAI and on basically solo work for the training. So I just start with this quote from Saito Sensei. I'm going to read it. He says, basically, to understand the combined Aikido system is to realize that one is not dependent on Ken, Jo, or other weapon. And he says, development of mind, body, and technique does not rely upon an armory, but on independence of action. And then he says, if a sword is used, do not realize it as a sword. If using a Jo, do not depend on it, but feel the common harmony in movement. So that's basically what he's saying is that it's all based in body work. So whether we do weapons or we do taijutsu, it's all based in the core principle is the body, your own body. So the challenge of these online classes, online seminars, is really for you to feel your own body. So you can watch the teacher and you can listen to the teacher, but it's really about getting back in touch with your own body. And we're going to do that today by looking at the weapons, and later so other teachers will look at the taijutsu system as well. Obviously all solo. So we're going to get started. So we're bowing and let's talk. So I'm going to get so I can see myself. Otherwise, good. So we're bowing. Hey, onegaishimasu. Okay. So we're just going to start really very light, just with the whole body. We're going to do a kind of top to toe warm up. Just start really very loose. Basically establishing a really clear vertical through the body. So keep the arms nice and loose. Just the waist going to settle down into the feet. Start to kind of feel the whole body, especially the relationship with your body to the ground. So really try and think of the body sinking all the time into the ground. Play a little bit with the arms, just kind of loosening them off, but don't do too much. Should be as kind of tension-free as possible. Play a little bit with the head, and looking down towards the ground, looking up, and a little bit to the side. Just play a little bit. Start to bring it now so that the feet are basically glued to the ground. And you're just going to kind of sink the weight down. So the knees nice and loose. Much more of a kind of pulse through the body now. Feel the length of the body as well as the ground. So you've got the vertical and the vertical up and down. All the way through the body. Good. And we're just going to start with the neck and the head. So just chin to chest. Sit down and then just stretching up. Try and stretch up right through the front, all the way through the neck. And then again, just down, chin to chest, and then up again. Nice and lightly to the center and then over to the left side. Just like you're looking over the back, to your back. Good, and then again to the left and the right. Good. You're just going to use very, very gentle pressure just now with the hand on the head. So hardly any weight, no pushing, Just letting the weight of the head settle to the side and the other side, just to the side, as if you're kind of the ears falling towards the shoulder. And do the same thing, just now take it a little bit to an angle to the front. Try and really feel the muscles in the neck really activating. So it's not really stretching, you're just kind of switching the body on, keep it nice and loose. You're going to go now to the back of the head, just a little bit of pressure on the top of the skull, down. Nice and easy out. And then just the hands on the front of the head, and just imagine you're going to push the head forward, and you're going to push with the hands to the forehead. Again, just feel you're activating the front neck muscles. Very important for Aikido work. Good. And very, very lightly, just circling the head. Don't do really big circles, just nice and light. Keep the rest of the body nice and free. Just pass the movement through one side, one direction, and then change. And then very, very lightly, just work with this kind of infinity movement. So kind of figure of eight. Very, very light. It shouldn't be straining the neck at all. So it's just about movement and mobilizing the joint. Just play a little bit. If you feel quite loose, you can also let the head come up, look towards the ceiling, as long as it's not painful. Just work with mobilizing the neck. Good. Okay, we're going to come down to the shoulders. So you're just going to raise up, right up, as if you bring in the shoulders to the ears, and then just drop them down as fully as you can, as if the arms are going to be pulled down to the ground. You're going to now press them to the front, open the arms out, and then to the back, open them out. And then what I want to do is just go through this full range of motion. You're going to come up, back, down, and then forward. Up, back, down, forward. Again, keep the rest of the body mobile. So I don't want to kind of tense the rest of the body and just move the shoulders. So allow the whole body to be involved in the movement very lightly. But the focus is on the shoulders. So just trying to mobilize shoulders and just reverse the direction. So really use these full 4 directions. Front, down, back, and up. As you do it more and more, you probably feel nice and loose, and you can just start to make it a little bit more fluid. Involve a little bit more of the body as you do it. Is it kind of oiling the joints? That's it. Good. Good. We're going to do the same thing with the chest. So just imagine a point in the chest, and you're going to go pull it to the front, like a pigeon. You kind of pull the chest out. And then you go a bit like a turtle. You kind of pull the chest back, as if someone's pulling you from the back. You're going to round the back really, really as much as you can, and then come up to the front. So you go between this kind of pigeon chest, kind of turtle back. Really try and mobilize this whole area of the body, especially if you spend a lot of time on a computer or driving for a job. This kind of area tends to be pretty stiff, so just try and mobilize it again. And then you're going to do the same thing just to the sides. So imagine this point being pulled out. This whole area is going to get kind of dragged down. That's it. Good. Good. Nice, nice, nice. And then what I want to do the same thing is just imagine you're kind of drawing a circle. So you pull to the front, over to the sides, to the back, out to the side again, and full. So just really trying to mobilize the torso. Just make sure when you do this, you're not doing the movement with the hips. So it's really trying to know weight and mobilizing the whole chest area. Really the kind of the upper spine. The hips are going to move with it, but they're not the focus to mobilize. Just play a little bit with both directions. And as you feel your own body, try not to copy me. Try and really feel where your body needs to go, depending on where your stiffness is and where your tension is. Hopefully you've not got too much, but just mobilize it. Good. And just do this now a little bit more fluidly. Just imagine someone's got a string attached to your chest right through the center, and you're just going to kind of get pulled through. So I'm playing a little bit with the balance and the mobility, but just feel the body get pulled in and out of balance. You can play a little bit with taking the body too far and feel what that feels like. And you can play really by centering the movement. That's it. Just about mobilizing the chest. Good. Stop. Very nice. Good. And you're just going to go down to the hips. So do the same thing. You're going to pull the hips forward. Pull them back. Back to the front. And back to the back. And then back to the center. You're going to go to the side. So imagine now someone, if you've got a belt on, someone's kind of pulling this whole area to the side. And then the other side. Just switch between these two extremes to the side. And really now the focus is the hips. So really try and mobilize the hips. And then do the same thing. You're going to just make circles. So really use the full range of mobility in the hips. Front, sides, and back. That's it. Good. And do both directions. Good. Good. And then you're just going to play with the hips. The other directions you can do is basically tilting them. So you're going to tilt the hips forward into the pelvis, tilt them back this way, and then you're going to pull one hip up, drop the other, pull the other hip up. So you're really using the full range of motion in the hips now. So you tilt forward, tilt back, as if you're tucking the tailbone in, and then pull the one hip up and pull the other. A bit like a catwalk model, as you do these kind of walks. And then what I want to do is work with figure of eights. So you're really going to now mobilize the hips. You can keep the hands on the hips because it also helps to kind of feel what's happening in the hip. But you want to really now feel that the hips are independent. And just play with both ways. So really about mobilizing hips. So, and again, just play with how your body feels. Way to go. You might feel one hip's tighter than the other, in which case just see if you can work it a little bit more than the other. Good. And then just to loosen the whole hip region, let the arms go. Just go to this rotating motion. Imagine you're really dropping the center of the body now into a spiral. So right through the middle of the feet, and keep the arms super loose. They're like thick, heavy ropes. They get thrown out and back to the body. You're trying to motivate the movement from the contact with the ground and then out into the hip. Just let it flow into the handbook. So, good. Good. I'm just going to continue with the hips a little bit. So just drop down into a little bit of a wider stance. Use the hands if you need to, just wherever you feel. The key thing is just opening the hips out a little bit. Again, it shouldn't be painful, but just come in and out of the position, nice and loose. Good. You might want to bring the feet a little bit wider now, and then just start to basically rock side to side. You're basically bending and straightening one knee, but don't go to a full stretch. Don't basically hold the position, just for loosening the hip out. If you feel pretty flexible, you can also start to come a little bit lower. Use the hands in the ground. Just again, opening the hip out. Again, but it shouldn't be uncomfortable. Just an opening mobility exercise. So. Good. Just come nice and slowly back to the center. Okay, feet together. Hello. To the center. You're just going to work the knees. So just rolling. Nice and small circles. If you feel again quite flexible in this case, you can also stretch the knee back as you do it. So you can go into a full rotation, and then as you come to the back, stretch the knees back and open them. If you don't feel particularly flexible, just keep the circles quite small. Good. Good. And we're just going to go to the feet. So just place your weight in one side, release the other leg, and really just work the whole. This is really for the ankle and the toes, but just feel that the whole joint's going to kind of mobilize as well. So just explore the foot a little bit. You can also do this on the toes this way. Just be careful if you've got a hard floor. And you can explore the back of the foot, so the ball, the toes. Just do it as you feel. That's it. Good. Just taking the leg off the ground and just circling the toe. And both ways. And just shake it out. Good. And just drop the weight into the other leg. We go to the other side. And try and mobilize the whole ankle. Work the toes as well if you like. And just off the ground, working with circles. In both directions. Okay, good. The last exercise we're going to do is just a full body movement. So it's a big spinal wave. So you start, we're going to do it in steps. So you're going to open out to the back first, really fully open out. And then what I want you to do is come into a kind of crouched closed position. So imagine you're closing everything down, really bending the knees, coming down, and then you're going to just take it open again. So these two big extreme movements, fully open with the body, and then fully closed. And just hold the positions a little bit so you can feel that you're getting to the maximum feeling of kind of closeness. And this is a feeling, it's not a technique, so it's a feeling of being open, all the body's open, and then closing everything down. And it's to your own range of motion. So don't copy me necessarily. And then open it out. And then one more time, down. And then just start to pass it through in a kind of fluid way. So now the movement has a really good quality of a wave through the whole spine. Really make it dynamic. So if you feel very flexible, also start to bring the hands towards the ground. Really open out the back. So as much as is comfortable, make a big movement as you can. So really about mobilizing the whole spine now. And depending on how the body feels, you can do this in a way very, very straight, vertical, through this kind of linear way, or you can also start to open it out to one side. And it really depends on how your spine feels. So if the spine's a little bit stiff one way, you might want to work that area a little bit more. Just play with your own body. And enjoy the movement as well. This is a really great movement for the whole body. You might naturally feel the hands start to now work in kind of 𝗥𝗢𝗢𝗧𝗦 positions. Mine does, my body just automatically goes into working with 𝗥𝗢𝗢𝗧𝗦 spirals. So also play a little bit with that. Very light. Good. So, very nice. Good, just start to center the body in the spiral a little bit now. So just a bit smaller. Not really fully going down with the knees, just keeping them open. Just, again, just feel the whole body should feel quite released. You should hopefully feel the upper body's relaxed, and you should feel the lower body's quite heavy. So, that's it. Good. Okay, we're going to go now to a kind of dynamic swinging exercise. I'm going to work with Buchanan next. This is for me a really fundamental exercise for working with an arc through the body. So this really relates to sword work. You're going to have the feet shoulder width apart, maybe a little bit wider depending on your body. And you're just going to raise the arms up and then just swing through. And then come up. You're just going to drop through. So you've got a shoulder width apart. Just let the spine sit into the middle of the posture. So just let the arms swing down in an arc. I've not talked about the breath, but also hopefully you keep breathing, but you're going to start to feel the breath is going to also be unified into the movement. Usually means breathing out as you go, down and up, breathing in. But you can do both. The main thing is that you do keep breathing through it. Don't hold your breath at all. That's it. Good, just continue. I'm just going to watch. Great. Very good. I've noticed this a lot all the time I've been teaching online. There's a tendency, I think it's because we've got screens and cameras and lots of things, there's a tendency to look one way and the body's doing another thing. So if I'm in this direction and I'm looking at my camera, the body just starts to do this. And automatically the body starts to twist. Now there's nothing automatically wrong with that, but know that whatever you look at, the body will start to twist towards. So you might find it easier. What I find easier is forget about the camera, forget about the screen, forget about everything, and just drop through the movement. But if I automatically get drawn to it, then you get kind of pulled out. So this exercise is really a great one in terms of, think about Shonuchi work. I just want the body to drop through the vertical. Very clean move. So just be aware of what happens when you look at something else, or you have a kind of split focus. The body will start to kind of twist out a bit. But just be aware of it. Good. Nice. Okay, and just keep going. I'm just going to talk through it as well. Just be careful with this one, it doesn't become an arm exercise. So this is not about swinging the arms. This is an upper body swing exercise. This is kind of dynamic athletic, but it doesn't really relate to what we do in Aikido work. So this is actually a knee releasing exercise. So it's actually to release the lower body. So the arm should have a quality of being very relaxed. And again, go back to this idea of like thick, heavy ropes. So the arms are really released and you drop them. But the focus is the lower body. It's the same as when we go into sword work next. That you just want the lower body to release. That. So try and take this more and more towards the center, away from the arms. That's it. So just imagine there's a pull from the center through the hands. The hands are just connecting, but they're not motivating the movement at all. Good. Okay. Yeah, very good. Great. I do this exercise a lot. I usually do it for 15-20 minutes because the more you do it, the more you get into it, the more you get into a kind of efficient way of doing it. So one of the things a lot of people do is it's very frontal. And you're working basically in the front of the knees and in the front of the chest. So the whole body has this quality of falling over. Now to stop you falling over, you go to tension. So the front of the body does it, and the back of the body kind of suffers for it. So really imagine as you find the top, what you're doing is really creating a line through the body, through the back of the heels, all the way up the back, through the spine and up. And then what you do is maintain that through the movement. So you're dropping the movement, but you're not falling forward through it. So just again, try and really use this top move and then swing it through. Top move, swing it through. And another point in this, we tend to emphasize the downward swing and forget about the up. The up has no quality in it. So really think about the up. The upwards move also has a sense of weight. So as the arms come up, there's still a sense of weight dropping all the time. So just emphasize a little bit more the up swing and really feel the length through the body. Doesn't feel like sword work at all, but it has all the elements, principles we use in sword work. Especially for Shonuchi work. So, good, just a little bit more. Okay, so take a walking. I'm going to go to some Weapon work. Good. We're actually going to do a very similar exercise just to start. So you stay in the same position, shoulder width apart, sword at the ground. You're going to raise up, and then you're just going to swing the sword down. So really a very similar exercise, but now you're connecting into an object. So just think about now raising to the back, swinging down. Like doing the first suburi, but you're just doing it shoulder width apart, dropping through. So really emphasize the vertical, this kind of column, state of being like a column, and then swing it through towards the ground. Go up to the top, swing it through. So you got a full range of motion in the cut. And as much as possible, try and really establish a vertical through the body. Traveling right through the center line of the body. Good. There's a clutch. Good. Okay, so for me, sword work, weapon work, and also Aikido, it's about doing less, not doing more. So it's not about doing stuff and doing things, it's about aligning behind something. So if you think about this, the main thing we look at in Aikido is non-resistance. And the moment we come to weapon work, we kind of do it. And I'm actually doing the movement, but really try and get the feeling. What you're actually doing is just letting the weapon fall. So if I do nothing, and the sword's like this, the sword falls. So I don't need to do anything. I just align behind it. So try and think about less about doing it and much more about let it happen. So I'm just trying to align behind it. Now, obviously you've got an intention. Your body's got a function, but I'm trying to align that intention and align that function to what I'm trying to achieve with the sword. So try and really do less. It feels a bit useless and it feels a bit weak at first. For a long time, it feels very weak. But it's really about much more stripping the movement away. It's not about forcing, especially with the upper body. So just let it kind of drop through. Okay, I want you to do something that I wouldn't normally do, but I want you to purposely take yourself off balance through the movement. Because we tend to have an idea of ourselves on balance, and we're actually not on balance at all. We're actually pulled out of balance, and we're holding ourselves again with tension. So I want you to really explore a sense as you come forward, throwing the sword away, throwing the body out. Now here I'm totally out of balance, and my lower body's doing this, is trembling through the movement. Because either I hold it or I fall forward. Now that's fine, but it's not really an efficient way to use the body. And in terms of Aikido, where you want the structure to actually settle into the ground. So the movement should have a quality of being calm, but it shouldn't have a quality of tension. So purposely now, especially to the front, because most of us are pulling forward to the front, and me too. So just feel what it's like when you fully come out of balance. And then you either need to step forward or just the whole body goes into a kind of spasm. So just explore being totally out of balance for a few. And it might actually feel familiar to the normal one we do, because probably we're all kind of front heavy, front focused. So just try and feel what it's like, and then you can work towards much more balance. Good. And the body hates being out of balance. It does almost everything it can to stay in balance. Good. That's it. So then use this as basically a calibration. You can also do this to the back, but most of us don't tend to be back heavy. Most of us don't tend to kind of pull back to the back. You'll get this in other sword schools because the tendency is to keep the spine erect through the movement. So in this case, most of us don't tend to do it. So use basically this calibration where I'm totally out of balance, and try and recalibrate your sense of balance to the ground or front. just really be honest with yourself. Am I really balanced or not? Ugh, no. So it's basically like 1 in 20, I can get into balance, where the body's just going to rest down through the structure. No. No. Let's play with it. And it's not about judging yourself as good, bad, or out of balance, in balance. It's about being functional. And I feel relaxed totally into the ground. This is the quality I want in the body. So it's not really about judging yourself. Just listening, see what happens. Move towards more balance than out of balance. Yeah, much better. Good. Great. Good. Very nice. Good. So just take this now into the 𝗧𝗔𝗘 𝗢𝗶𝗍. So you come now into the 𝗥𝗢𝗢𝗧𝗦, right foot forward, reach the back, really find this kind of column state that you had in this last exercise, and then just drop forward. And you're just going to come now into the focus. Keep the focus nice and light, so big, clear movements. Just dropping through. Find the back, drop in, find the cut. So just nice, clear 𝗧𝗔𝗘 𝗢𝗍𝗍. Really take your time with it. Okay, so the moment we go to focus, we go back to doing it. So you get a kind of quality of finding this arc and aligning to it. And then as soon as I feel like I'm going to go to the focus, I go into tension. And again, the body's basically throwing itself out. So I do this and this, everything's being thrown out. So keep the focus very light and feel free to just drop down through the arc again. So it's really, again, about I'm not really doing the cut. I'm trying to align behind it and then just focus. So keep the focus very light. That wasn't a very good one. Keep the focus very light. There. There. So what you're looking for is a quality of calm through the whole system. But this just feels, it feels okay. It feels nice to be kind of aggressive and kind of do it. But look for more this quality of calm, because this has much more of a quality we look for later in terms of body work and going into taijutsu. Yeah, good. Okay, good. In terms of body work and in terms of what we're looking for or looking to train in terms of relatability to the rest of the system, this is also kind of a 𝗥𝗢𝗢𝗧𝗦 exercise. So a lot of the time we focus just on the curve. So I focus on the curve. I focus on the curve, but I miss this whole training where I'm actually raising. If you look at all this taijutsu work we've got, where you raise through a 𝗥𝗢𝗢𝗧 movement, this kind of work, then you're also training it here. So think about the 𝗥𝗢𝗢𝗧 work in the raise. So obviously there's 𝗥𝗢𝗢𝗧 in the downwards move, but there's really 𝗥𝗢𝗢𝗧 work in the up. So really just focus a little bit more now on the raise. Obviously at the top, the hands are quite loose. I'm not gripping the bokken. But really this quality is the wrist becomes very mobile. Yes. So you're doing this kind of work, but it's not a kind of straight raise up. this might be true in other styles of sword work, but in terms of Aikido sword, you're really looking to mobilize the ray through the wrist and find it. So it's trying to fill the whole movement. So no part of the movement is empty. Every part of it's useful. Yeah, good. Nice, nice, nice. Good. Okay, so most of you are really familiar with the first Suburi, Shomanuchi, Yokomanuchi, and probably the ski work. So I'm going to actually go to somewhere else, which has much more relevance in terms of body work. What we're going to look at is this kind of slicing movement. So you're going to start in the right side, and you're just going to slice out to the side this way. We're going to work up to that, but we're just going to basically start with shoulder width apart. Bokkens connecting to the center, and I just want you to feel the connection first with the slice. So we don't do this in the Suburi work. So it's one of the things we don't have in the Suburi is working with a slice movement. We've got Shomanuchi, Yokomanuchi, skis. We don't have slicing movements, but we do them in the sword system. So just start shoulder width apart again, connect the center to the sword, to the tip, and then just play with the connection first. Don't think about striking or slicing, just think about connection. So it's just very loose, that. And obviously because I'm working with a sword, working with a bokken, the blade's going to be forward through the movement. So I'm going to turn through the blade this way. And the more you get the kind of coordination, because we're probably not so used to doing these movements, get away from doing it with the hands and try and really connect it into the center. So the center creates the movement. And the sword follows it. Just work with the connection first. Do it nice and slow, and actually start with small movements, because if I can connect in terms of a centimeter, then I can connect in a bigger movement. If I can't connect, the meter movement will be out of connection. So work small, work slow, connect it in a kind of very short distance, and then open it out. That's it. That's it. Okay. A connection works really interesting. You basically got this, if there's different ways to connect, I can connect by being totally unconnected. Everything moves and moves in a different way. I can lock it together, so that I'm basically move the hip and the hand together, like this. Or I can connect from the center and make this flexible. So try and work towards this third level. You start by basically locking it together. So this is okay for kind of beginners. So certainly the more seniors, see if you can really get a sense that the center creates the motion. So these kind of 3 levels of connection, we all start out being disconnected. Actually, we create the disconnection because when you start as a baby being very connected, you don't really have a choice. And then we create disconnection through tension, and I'm going to kind of do it. And then you start by linking the movements together. And then see if you can create something that's a bit more flexible. And it's center to periphery. That's it. That's it. Good. Good. Nice. And also it helps to play with these different levels of connections. You can feel what they actually feel like. If I lock the center into the sword, it has a different kind of quality. That's it. Good. Very nice. Good. Okay, and there's lots of these kind of slicing movements you can do, and you can do whatever kind of footwork you like and slice with it. They're very versatile. We're going to stick, because we've not got so much time, I'm going to stick just with the right side. Think about, in this case, just slicing out to a 90-degree angle. So you're going to bring the front foot out this way, and then bring the other foot with it. So you're just going to make a big kind of slicing movement. So if I do this to the camera like this, front forward, you're going to really come out to the 90 degrees to the right. Slice out and realign. So just keep to one side. You can do these both sides, but just for now, for time, let's slice out to the side. Slice out to the side.
Good.
Michael,
Yeah.
is your right foot going 90 degrees to the right, or is it going backwards diagonal? What's your right foot doing?
My right foot. I'll try and show Keessen. So in this case, if I do from here, this way, in this case, you can do lots of different variations for it. I'm just going to take it out to the side, this way, that way. Yeah. You can do this differently, so you can do that. And you can do that. Out. But in this case, just keep it very simple. That way. That way. And this is realigning. That way. Oh. Good. Nice. Very nice. Good. So if you relate this to empty hand work, from weapons work, this has lots of possibility connections with it. You can think about in terms of 𝗥𝗢𝗢𝗧𝗦 work. Just think about now, just with the hand, just slicing out with the body. So because I've not got a partner, I've not got something to relate it to interact with. So I can do this movement however I like, but just keep the same principles, which is basically ground, hip, hand. Ground, hip, hand. And I want to fill the hand now with a sense of slicing. So it's really got a quality of slicing through the movement. Now you can relate it to kind of 𝗥𝗢𝗢𝗧𝗦 footwork, coming in this kind of way, or you can relate it to kind of backwards footwork. I'm not really interested in what you do. I'm interested in how you do it. So really think about the ground, hip, hand, this quality. And training really comes from sword work, just that way. Just play a little bit with it. And then we'll come back to the sword. That's it. So think all the time ground, hip, hand, or ground, hip, hand, sword. This is basically the structure, the order you want to work with. That's it. Great. Good. Good. So obviously when you go to hand work, when you go to body work, this will be explored later by other teachers, but you basically you've got to, the sword has a quality of being slicing. It's got a kind of sharpness to it, naturally with the movements. And when you come to the hand work, it's got much more of a rounder quality. So now I'm really emphasizing kind of spiral work through the hand. So just know that that's the case, and then we'll probably explore it a little bit with the other teachers this weekend. So just going to go finish with a nice clean movement now. You're just going to start again from the right side. Slice outward to the right side, and then from here just take it all back, and then bring the body forward. Just come to here. So really, really basic movements. Just here, slice out to the side, and then take everything back, slice forward with the right foot. It's very easy. Kamae, slice to the side, cuts into a yokohama. Just work this connection. Last couple of moments. Just the last 30 seconds or so with this before my time's up. Just as you do this, try and really release through this movement. So you're from here. Again, the connections with the hip. So if you think about this move's like an 𝗥𝗢𝗢𝗧𝗦, and again, it's going to come from the center. Center to hands. So in this case, I can do but in this case, I really want the sense that the center's going to lead and open the movement and then cut through. So really try and connect it into the center. And it's not kind of mysterious. It's just that the center releases the movement. Center releases the movement and the hands follow. So again, just go back to this kind of structure. This thing's basically connecting to the ground, transmit it to the hips, go into the hand. It basically takes it over into the hands. That's it. Just in this. Few seconds. Good. That's it. Much better. Good. Very great. Great. Okay, good. So that's the end of my slot before we move on. So the basic structure of this is that everything you do with the weapon is basically body work. So what connects the weapon work, the empty-handed work, is your own body and how you utilize it. So these kind of swinging exercises and these kind of loosening exercises, these are really the principles that we work with. And whatever we do with the weapon or when we're doing partner work, these are the kind of principles which underline everything we do. So the more you deepen those, the more you reach that root. What we call the name of this is reaching the root of the RIAI. The root of it is the body and the principles that we use to align the body to the sword or to the person. So those are basically a few exercises for that. So about that, and then we move to Brendon. So, hi, domo arigatou gozaimasu. Great, thanks very much.
Thank you.
Here we go.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you, Michael.
Thanks a lot.
You will move.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Was
Michael.
there a break in between,
Thank
Michael?
you.
Or
Thank you, Michael.
We start now. We start again in like 3 minutes with Brendon. Oh, 2 minutes. Sorry, I finished it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. 2
minutes.
minutes.
Thank you, Michael.
Yeah,
Gracias.
quick drink and then come back, I guess, guys.
Quick drink of water, coffee.
Can you? What's my
Why are you in a cage, Brendon?
An octagon.
I've had to move location, so I'm having to share space. So I'm going to use my earpiece. So hopefully the sound is you're not picking up everything else that's going on. Are you or?
No, just you.
Oh, good. Because a good noise cancellation earpiece.
The guy behind you is about to attack you, Brendon.
Oh yeah. Right.
That's a Brandon's evil twin.
Yeah. Hey, is that Huna?
Hello.
That sounds like Huna.
Yeah.
Hey!
Hello.
I recognize that voice. How are you, man? I was like, right. So let me put my phone onto. I can see properly. There we go. Okay, so shall we start? Huh? Is everyone back or no? You're going to start with Joe today for myself. I will have to move my camera around a few places to get different angles, but it'll be good. We'll be fine. Okay. Right. So obviously we're looking at its roots of RIAI. So we're going to just start off with a couple of the 𝗧𝗔𝗓 just to get used to the 𝗧𝗔𝗓, and then we're going to look at connecting them together and just looking at having some sort of a movement concept within the 𝗧𝗔𝗓. That is the plan, and how that movement relates to movement without the Jo or Bokken or Tanto or whatever. Yeah, so that's the plan. So we're going to start off with fourth 𝗧𝗔𝗓. So we're going to start in 𝗥𝗢𝗢. Ski, yeah, and straight. Really straightforward. Fourth 𝗧𝗔𝗓. Really trying to just going back, moving the center forward into the strike. So really work on fourth 𝗧𝗔𝗓. Carry on. Okay, yummy. So 2 points. First point is that like we try to take out the I mean Michael said it's actually less is kind of more, and we're trying to do less and be more efficient in the move. So when I do the first 𝗧𝗔𝗘, the fourth 𝗧𝗔𝗘, so the fourth, my first one, I'm really stable and I go into the strike. So draw back and then strike. And that one feels usually the best one. And then from that moment onwards, I kind of get slack sometimes when I'm trying to. So I start to be not so stable in my first position. So you really want to get back into a stable third position. So how can we do that? We can add a turn, which puts us into that. So like a Zengo fourth 𝗧𝗔𝗘. So this is one way of doing it. So we can start facing one direction, perform the 𝗧𝗔𝗘, settle, and then turn 180 degrees and land nicely into a position, and then perform it again. So that will force you to reset, and then produce, then reset. Okay, so try that. So both directions, forwards and backwards. So you're doing fourth 𝗧𝗔𝗘, huh? Fourth 𝗧𝗔𝗘, and then turning and doing behind. So. Good. Better. Okay, yummy. So the next point is when we produce this ski and this strike here to the knee, it's this strike kind of goes against principles if we're not doing it correctly. So for example, if I'm trying to strike forwards directly to the camera, my body and the 𝗧𝗔𝗘 work should be working on the line, so I should be going straight into the line here. So now if I try to keep the jaw, this end of the jaw on that line, it ends up being jammed here nice. So me putting the jaw directly on the same line as myself kind of goes against any common sense. So this end of the jaw, top end of the jaw that's in my left hand, will end up being on the left side of the line that I'm attacking. So my body is behind, my right hand is actually on the center here. So the principle that this hand has to actually travel from being on this side of the line to this side of the line. It's really basic on principles. For me to travel here, this hand goes across. So from here, this hand will go across. So when that has that will allow this freedom to happen here. If I try to keep this on the line, you see this. And you see this feeling here. Because this needs to be off the line to allow my body to go through. Because my body work that I'm working on, and my jaw follows. So just try to incorporate this feeling of freedom in the body. So the bodies are doing the attacking and the jaw's just following your movement. Then turn and do it from the same. So this, you're not being restricted in any of your movement by your arms. Let's have another practice.
Okay. Oh. Hey. Oh. Hey. Oh. Hey.
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 Oh. Hey. Oh. Hey.
That's better. That's better. That's better. Okay, good. Yummy. So now we increase this movement to going to use the opposite side as well. So we're going to produce a normal from the left side into a right strike, then turn into the right hand knee and produce full suburi from this side. Reset. Hey. Reset. So, お願いします。
お願いします。
はい。はい。
Hey.
Hey.
Oh.
Hey.
Hey. Oh.
Hey.
Hey. Ah. Oh. Hey.
Make the last one the same quality as your first.
Hey. Hey.
Very nice. Yummy. So this linking it from the jaw work to the empty hand taijutsu work, and how do I feel there's some issues. One of the issues is that when we train in suburi, we have a very clinical stop in between each position. So we have this very clinical finish here, sort of really assertive, and then really assertive finish here, and really one here. Now in taijutsu, at every point that you do that, you go to an abrupt stop. If you've got somebody attached to you, then that person gets the feedback to either release or to stand back up, especially if you've got any tension within your body as well. So therefore, we kind of want to soften the ends of this move now to encourage a more flow, a more nagari type feeling throughout the movements. And that will keep okay with us while we're training with them as well. So now you've got many options. You can just stick to one. You can do front and back. You can do the same side switching, whatever level you're at. But the idea is to be more smooth in the finish, in between the moves. So the only abrupt stop is at the end of the suburi. So here. So, and then there's a stop at the end. I'm still going through every single point, but the stop is at the end. And if you want to go into the left side, it's the same principle. It's not about doing it quick. It's about trying to do it as correct as you can. So, and then finish at the end. So try to be a little bit smoother within the transitions and feel it as if I'm giving no chance to break the momentum that I'm creating. お願いします。
お願いします。
Hey. Oh. Hey. Oh.
you notice that your quality is dropping, stop, have a breath, and then carry on again. So if you notice your quality is stopping, don't try to beat your way through it, stop and restart. Right. Okay, Yame. So still sticking with this fourth suburi, still sticking with this feeling of keeping the movements more fluid to keep 𝗥𝗢𝗢𝗧𝗦 engaged and not have the feeling of escaping you or leaving you. I'm going to add now some difficulty with the transition in between. So you've got two choices. You can go Zengo, forward and backwards, or you can stay forward and changing sides. But either way, the footwork and the feeling is slightly different. So if you've got this feeling here, as you go into this place here and you go to the transition to the other side, as you transition from this point straight into the ski and then finish. So again, it is perform the left side. As you transition straight into the ski and then find it here. For the, when we're gonna turn around, perform left side. And as I turn, straight into the ski and produce. So I'm really connecting the transition now with this feeling of movement. So I'm turning and I'm moving. I'm turning and I'm moving. I'm changing my feet and I'm moving. Okay, so really look at that transition and trying to flow them together.
Onegaishimasu.
Hey. Hey.
Ah. Hey. Oh. Hey.
E.
Hey. Oh. Hey. Ah. Hey. Oh. Hey. Ah. Hey. Hey. Oh. Hey. Ah. Yes. 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 Yes.
Yummy. Okay, so that's very nice. Actually, it's very smooth, very nice. Most the bits in between the training is important. Kind of like the silences within music is important. The silence when you allow your person at training with to just train is important. But also the silence in between each performance of your whatever you're doing is very important. So take more notice of that time. So when you've produced one, take that moment to feel if you're in balance, and then come back and take a moment and get in your mind what you're going to do. Once you, if anything, rerun the whole thing in your head first, and then now just let go and perform it. But that silent moment is really important. Okay, so now I'm going to look at we've got this feeling of the footwork and the body work being fluid, but then it's about the jaw being slightly behind the body. And keeping behind the body movement, so you don't ever let the jaw catch up with you. Because the same thing again, if I'm working with uke and as I move and I settle, and uke manages to settle, then the uke can change his mind or her mind. So while I move, and if uke is holding on and he's moving, if I can change direction before this person settled, then I'm going to be able to continue my Aikido technique. So we're going to try and do that with our Jo for this particular suburi, and then we'll change suburi. So while I go for the strike here, there's like this, I've settled and my Jo settled. I want to be moving back into my 𝗥𝗢𝗢𝗧𝗦 part of it before my Jo is settled. That's the first one. When I draw back, I want to be moving forward before my Jo is settled in the back. So I'm going to move my body slightly in front of the Jo, really looking to here, slightly before the Jo. So, and it's only at the end when the Jo will catch up with me. Again, try those principles. And remember, the silences within the moves are really important. Onegaishimasu. Hey. Hey.
And oh, and ah, and
Good. Okay, yummy. Very nice, very nice. So that is, I mean, I don't personally feel you can get bored with training in suburi, because even if you just look at the basic suburi, there's so many different qualities that you can practice with. It's like it's endless. But if you do feel like you want to be a little bit more inventive, then these kind of ways of connecting the same suburi with itself is also a healthy way of working with the RIAI and with the 𝗧𝗔𝗘 and with your movement, and also just encouraging a steady and slow process through your practice. But you can also look at connecting two different suburis together. Not so much making a kata, but it's looking at the connection and actually being able and understanding that it isn't just always move one way. So I'm going to look at the 𝗥𝗢𝗢𝗧𝗦 Ushirosuki. So we start for Hasso, and if you're conscious of your wall, I'll show you a modification on that in the Hasso section. But starting right in Kenkamai, and we will perform a Hasso. If your ceiling is too low, like mine is, at this point I can just slide my right hand up the weapon, and it will make the same feeling as me extending up with my hands, but I can't because of the ceiling. So from here. Okay, so the Hasso, just going to perform the Hasso to start off with. So, and return. So, and return. Onegaishimasu. Keep trying, but if you want to modify, you can do it off your knees if you feel well. So. You can go from your knees as well, if you wish. Very good. Okay, yeah, mate. A couple of pointers. Number one is when we do this move, this outside hand is going to make a strike. So when this hand makes a strike, which we don't want to be drawn forward out of our body when we make this deflection of the ski or yoke and whatever is coming. So we really want to be inside the body when we do this movement here. So I roll the back leg into this position here. So I'm really moving here. So my arm doesn't extend out past this natural arc it's trying to do. So some of us are going like kind of here, trying to make a big difference. You can do it if you're really good at being in good posture. You can, because your arm won't pull you out because your center's doing the move. If there's any tension in your body, as your arm reaches its extreme distance, it will pull you out. So really try to not allow yourself to be at the ends of your reach. So stay inside your reach. Think of it this way: if you have to extend so far to make contact, then really were you in any danger in the first place? Think of it that way. So really be in here as if you're defending yourself because you have to, rather than trying to force connection. Right? So that's the first point. Don't let yourself join out. And the second one is at the finish, don't let yourself get cramped up like here as well. Because that is like really in the back, it's like really crumpled up. You're going to stay wide in the back. Stay wide in the back. I really feel like this wideness is here. Okay, so those 2 points, have a look at those in your technique. Yeah, remember to watch out for your ceiling. That's better. Okay, this is better. This is cool. Okay, yummy. So now we've got those principles now. We're going to look in the Ushiroski, but I'm going to go straight into the point of the connection that we did in the fourth Suburi. So imagine yourself getting into this position of hasso here. At the time my jaw is meeting its position of height, I'm going to lower myself from my center down into my body here. Just a bit like what we were doing, what Michael was doing when he was doing this drop in here. That same feeling from underneath, this feeling is going to happen here. So as this is going up into its final position, my center drops down. That will then encourage the jaw to change its mind and drop down with it, which we can perform the Ushiroski from there. So I'm really looking at it. So from this hasso position, from this right here, to take this body down. This will encourage the jaw to change and then into the Ushiroski. So really looking at this feeling. Here at the point, take my body down to come to there. So, hey, hi, watch out behind you, people. And up, and yeah, and above you as well. It is a feeling. So if you have got space on the floor and you've got a nice floor, you can do it from your knees if you wish. Because from here, it is a feeling here. Drop it in here, and so. So you can do it from your knees if you feel free. If you feel free.
Go. Hey. Go. Oh. Hey. Oh. Hey. Oh. Ah.
Very good. Very nice. Very nice. Very nice. All right, yummy. So the point of this, that is so many different things to work on with the Suburi, yeah? So it is very tempting to change your focus and, oh, that hand change was slightly off. Let me work on the hand change. Let me work on, all my footwork was off. And you can come away from your intention of what you're focusing on. All right. So my granddad used to say, if you want to tidy your wardrobe, you first have to make a mess of your bedroom. And the same kind of principle is, as you're working on some things in particular with the Suburi, other things will decrease in their quality. But then when you come together, perform it without thought of any one particular thing, everything will come together, hopefully. So don't get drawn into, oh, well, that footwork was off. Well, it might be off because you was focused on some other aspect. All right, so you can't, it's not about getting everything right at any one time. But what I'm looking at is cheating the Joe's possibility of staying stable. So first of all, the Joe is stable in Kamae. Then when I do just the Hasso section, the Joe gets steady and stable at this point. I'm cheating that point because I'm taking it down to here. So now this is the next stable position of the Joe. So I'm going to cheat that position as well by moving before the Joe settles and then taking your Shirosuke. So I'm not allowing the Joe to be stable in any of the positions. So the Joe wants it, but I'm not going to. Similar working with Uke. Uke will always look to steady himself or herself. So I'm not going to allow. So. Hi, onegaishimasu.
Onegaishimasu.
Nice, Paul.
Yeah.
Yes, Munia, that's lovely.
Hey.
Yeah. Nice bravery, Ariane.
Yo. Yo. Yeah. Yeah.
Nice, Fernando. Nice. Very lovely. Yeah.
Yo.
It's serene.
Hey. Yo. Hey.
Let's have a come out of the screen.
Hey. Yo.
Nice header. Really smooth. Yeah, nice bravery, Huna. Very nice, very nice. Okay, yummy. So, this one you might struggle to do from your knees, I'm afraid. So you're gonna have to consider what you would do here. But I'm going to look at a Henka Waza. So Henka Waza is when you you have every intention of doing one particular thing, and then just for some reason you feel the necessity to change what you're doing. Okay, so within the realms of Aikido. But you kind of really feel committed into going into one way, and then either you're forced to change or you choose to change. Either way, you should change with a feeling of control and stability. So that's what I'm going to do. So from this position here, when I've got to here, I'm going to choose.
Oh, iPhone.
There we go. I'll put you back.
Going to do
somersault. So yeah, you're all going to do that now. Hang on. No. From this position here, where we change and come to this place here, I'm going to change my mind. And I'm going to go from here into this place here. So I'm going to produce the final part of the fourth suburi from that same position. And I'm going to cheat the Joe. The Joe does not know. The Joe does not know. So here the Joe thinks he's going to do a ski, but no, it changes. 𝗥𝗢𝗢𝗧𝗦. 𝗥𝗢𝗢𝗧𝗦 with the suburi. So. Hey! Without moving back. Or so. With movement. Okay, so see if you can find that movement. Onegaishimasu.
お願いします。
お願いします。
あはい。おえああ
So Funa's showed me that you can do it from your knees. Okay.
Sorry.
That's nice. No, that's nice. Thank you. Very nice.
えあえ
Okay, yeah, May, very nice. No points. Okay, cool. So, I haven't got the Joe in my hand. So, where does this like kind of link in with taijutsu? I think personally, when you link these two particular saburis together in this particular feeling, in particular way, I think inside my body, I feel very, very similar to 𝗥𝗢𝗢𝗧𝗦. It really, for me, it feels really the same. So if I kind of roll this back leg and go into this place here, I really feel like that extension here is me extending, and the head's on my shoulder, and I'm really extending this right here. Then this feeling where I drop my center into going underneath his height. I feel that same feeling here. And as I feel that same feeling as I enter forward into the strike, so I feel that 𝗥𝗢𝗢𝗧𝗦 there. So I really do feel this 𝗥𝗢𝗢𝗧𝗦 This is the kind of the feeling I'm getting for 𝗥𝗢𝗢𝗧𝗦. So here, down. So again, so from this place, don't just step forward. Drop in from underneath, bring in the center. So please feel free to practice without the Joe for a couple of minutes. Straight away, yummy. So straight away it's gone. Straight away it's gone. So we have this feeling here with the Joe. So to here, someone's got it with my echo. And from here, my center drops down to bring the Joe down. And I come forward. I mean, I lose this. I have this feeling where here, Extend up here, and then I just walk through. As I walk through from that position here, I end up coming up and out of the ground as I walk through. And I really cannot afford any weight of a person on me while I'm coming out of the ground. It's just really, so from here, really feel the ground in your movement. So really open this groin, feel the ground, and then walk through the ground, if you like, into this position here. So you're never losing the ground when you move. So don't come here and then forget that feeling of downness by just walking through. Because that point, you are really unstable. So really try and work in the ground. Extend in the ground. Onegaishimasu.
お願いします。
お願いします。
Nice, John. That's better. Good. Okay, so before I get back to Joe again to finish off with, couple of things again also. The Joe kind of corrects our body alignments, especially the spine, right? So we do this taijutsu without the Joe, and when I drop this here, my spine should be exactly the same as it would be for the Joe, which should be quite long and quite straight. But for some reason, as we do Uminagi now, we're thinking about taijutsu. You can see my head and my spine now starts to lead as I come in for the 10. And as that's happening now, that is also a point of vulnerability because my spine, this hip and my intercostals are collapsing here. Okay, so it's about keeping that alignment here. So again, so that's just another principle of why it's important to train with the weapon. It should build the two together. That's the RIAI kind of thing, in my opinion, comes together. So what I'm going to look at now, we got 4 more minutes. So I'm going to give you either one thing to try to do, which is a little bit different to what we've been doing, a little bit extra, or you can spend the 4 minutes working on anything that we've just previously been doing. So I'm going to reverse my lesson, and you spend 4 minutes practicing whatever you want. So the first thing is this thing. So we're going to do the hasso, drop in, but this time change into 𝗥𝗢𝗢𝗧𝗦 and produce for the full 4th suburi. So again, hasso, but then into 𝗥𝗢𝗢𝗧𝗦. So that's kind of bringing there's two full suburis together, except for you don't do the ushiro-ski. Or you can just work on the ushiro-ski, blending everything together, or you can take it into just the 4th suburi, changing sides, or the 4th suburi going backwards and forwards, or just the 4th suburi on its own. You have got free reign. Enjoy yourselves for 4 minutes. Onegaishimasu.
お願いします。
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 Nice, Ariane. Okay, yummy. So get your jaws if you haven't already got one. Thank you very much. That is like kind of one of my feelings regarding to try to build and show the balance between, show the RIAI between weapons work and your taijutsu, and how you can actually use them to inform one another just by taking this whole saburi and then just working on little bits of quality of the saburi and then kind of looking at that. So hopefully you enjoy it. If not, then I'm sorry. Thank you very much, Iwama. はい、どうもありがとうございました。
どうもありがとうございました。Thank you, Brendon.
I think we've got, I think if I'm wrong, but someone correct me, we've got a 10-minute break now?
10 minutes, yeah.
10 minutes, so we start back in 10 minutes time, guys.
Thank you, Brendon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Brendon.
Thank you.
No problem.
Thank you, Brendon.
Thank you, Brendon.
No problem. So, Michael, are you putting some sort of screen on now? Good plan. For the 10-minute break. Michael, you there? Ah, there we go. Cool.
Oh, Brendon, thank you.
No problem, Gunas. Good to meet you. Okay. So I'm going to mute my mic now because I think it says we're on a break. So I'm going to mute my mic. But we'll talk after. We'll talk after, huh?
Hello, Adrian.
Hello, Runa.
Can you tell me when we can start traveling again?
Well, probably for the Brits, never. On account of the fact we crash out no deal, we're a third world country and Europe won't let us in while the virus is still high.
Oh, nice aquarium. Why are all the fishes on the top of the surface?
Hey, Runa, where's your black belt?
Sorry?
Where's your black belt?
It's in the dojo.
Yeah.
I got another one as present, but I gained weight after I got it, so. I was hoping I could make a Kyusei started from first Q again, from a 6Q again.
Runa, did you get your black belt at summer school as well?
Sorry?
Did you get yours at summer school as well?
No, I got it last year in 19. So. It's actually right here.
There you go.
But after I got it as a present, I gained weight, so I have like 5 to 10 centimeters where I can tie a knot.
Thinking the center.
I actually think it's so my normal one is in the dojo. This is
that's
what I have. Tie knot. Doesn't matter.
Sent me a message.
So when can we go to UK again?
Well, nobody knows. I mean, allegedly we have a seminar here in June, but I'm actually doing, because my partner's French and he managed to come here just before the last lockdown, and I'm actually going to France on the deadline day. I'm flying the edge of Brexit. I'm entering France on the 31st of December.
Okay.
So let's see what happens.
Yeah.
I've no idea. Nobody knows what's going to happen.
Nobody.
And the double whammy, as Adrian says, we've got the double whammy of Brexit, COVID.
I think Britain is going to stink. Look at the chat, please.
I'm getting recorded on YouTube now, Runa.
Okay, so I hope everybody's back. Yeah, okay, then we can start. So I'm very happy that you can join this today, and I'm happy that so many people are participating. Currently, it's 31 people. And someone else, you, Nick?
Yeah, thank you for being part of it. Great pleasure also part of that.
I'm very happy that you can join this today, and I'm happy that so many people are participating. Currently, it's 31 people. It goes somewhere. Can people switch off their mics, maybe? Yeah.
Okay, I go again. So we're happy to be also part of that amazing group of teachers that we have in these 2 days, and also that we represent the Kokoro Dojo in Zurich. Great pleasure to join that all together, and we will go into some body work for the third lesson.
Okay, so when we talk about RIAI, it's also a question how we want to include the weapon in the body, and then often we get stiff. So we did now 2 hours with weapon, and I'm feeling quite stiff back now, although it was we're both very mobile classes. And I want to focus a little bit on the back and how to get it more mobile and round. And the great tool we have is, of course, ukemi work. And now the advantage, if we train by ourselves, is actually that nobody is stressing us. So somebody pushing you, and you have to go as soon as you're pushed. So you can go down slowly when you want, and really focusing on doing it the right way. So we will slowly start from the floor, and then getting from standing down to the floor and getting up again. And then eventually we will move into 𝗧𝗔𝗘 work. So I'll show first, and then you can start playing around with it. So we start from the floor, and just moving your back, tilting it up. Now the same counts like Michael said. If you turn your head towards the camera, of course, your whole body changes a little bit. So just continue doing this movement now, and you don't need to watch me anymore. But focus on that also the hip will move here. So there's a wave in your whole back. And in the end, your hip tilts. So just do this slowly, try to explore the movement. Now we'll check a little bit when you do it. Nick. So try when you lift your pelvis, and then try that each vertebra, just continue doing it. I won't show anything, so just listen what I'm saying and you can continue with the movement. So when you do this movement, try to focus that really vertebrae per vertebrae is lifting off the floor. And also when going back, it's one by one after the other, going down and getting in contact with the ground. So your back should not move as a whole stiff plank, but as individual little tiny pieces in a chain. Yeah. And when your pelvis is down and your back is completely down to the floor, you can also lift your legs a little bit, your feet off the ground. So I show this. So you can lift it up, then go down little by little, and then your pelvis slightly tilts, and then you can lift your feet. Put down your feet, your pelvis tilts the other way, you come up. Come down, your pelvis tilts this way, your feet come up. So now include your feet into the movement, this. Always with the tilting of the pelvis in between. Onegaishimasu.
Onegaishimasu.
Okay, then now we have a really hard wooden floor here, which is also a great exercise. So now when we continue, focus on not going down on the vertebrae, but on the side. So if my right foot is up, I'm going down on the left side of the spine. So I'm going down on the left side of the spine if my right foot is up. I'll show it from the front. So here, down, and up. And now also first try to do this movement slowly, vertebrae by vertebrae, controlling it. So it's a combination of really strengthening your core and contracting there, and being mobile in your back. So it's relaxed but also strong through the core. So do this a couple of times on one side and then change to the other side. And really for the, now for the moment, try to do it as slow as possible and as round as possible. Like this. Slow and round. Onegaishimasu.
Onegaishimasu.
Okay, then take a break and just listen or watch. So one thing about doing 𝗥𝗢𝗢𝗧 properly is really also to have a strong core here, so you can, so that the muscles can be activated, and that the movement can be joined. So being too loose doesn't really help, but also being too stiff doesn't help. So you need kind of a strong connection while still being flexible. So one possibility also to strengthen your core is not to do the whole movement, but really just lying on the floor with one foot up, so you still don't go over the spine. But then from here, just pull in the legs and put them down slowly again. Like just one part of the rolling back movement. You can use your arms here to support yourself. And really try to avoid any contact of the spine with the floor. Just this couple of times on the left side. Then switch over. Now this foot is up. And then do it a couple of times on the other side. Okay, try. Oshimasu.
Nice one.
Okay, good. So one thing is the strength, but then in martial arts in general, or maybe in all sports, you want to be efficient with your energy. So don't spend too much energy on a movement. So here I can do it, really forcing it through, and I'm getting really strong and I get a strong six-pack. Or I can do it more using the weight of the legs to help here. So I roll in, and now the legs are kind of getting heavy, and they help with the movement. So try to do it wrong first, like this, and then try to do it a bit more intelligent. Now you can continue rolling in right to here. So your feet will touch the floor on one side of the head. So I roll in to one side of the leg. I roll back down again. And then I go to the other side. I roll in. Feet touching the ground. And I roll back down again. And if you want, you can always go back to completely straight. Then roll in. Roll back down until you're straight. Go to the other side. Roll in. Reach the floor. And roll out again. Okay? Okay. Try to do 5 times to the right and 5 times to the left. Okay, and those of you who want to take a break, you're welcome. Or just stay with a soft and easy roll like we did in the beginning. Or you can continue from there. And then it looks like this. So now continue until you're completely turned to the floor with your belly. And then when you go back, start by rolling your arm in, maybe. So one arm starts rolling in. You can push up here with the other arm. And then come back. So I'll show you from different angles. So here, come up, slide in, push up, slide back. And try to do this efficiently, not forcing it through, but try to use the weight of your body and the movement to help you through it. So here, the weight takes me down. Here I start curling up. And now the weight from here takes me to the other side again. So you're welcome to try. Wow, beautiful. 𝗥𝗢𝗢𝗧𝗦, that's really beautiful. So now continue. I will just talk a little bit, but continue doing it. Also, really here, also try not to waste your energy. Try to move in an intelligent way, using the weight of the body to guide you through. And also here it helps not to do it too fast, because otherwise you will cheat yourself through those angles where it doesn't work. I see some beautiful movements here, really amazing. All right, so I hope you got a little bit warm now. So now we start from standing and how to go down to the floor. Again, see it as a positive side that the floor is hard. So it will not excuse a bad movement, so you can feel when you do it in the wrong way. So slow down and first just drop with all you're feeling. And then you might put the leg down. So first just drop, then put the leg down and go back and come up again. You can also go drop and not put the leg in, but go straight down like this. And still come up the same way. So like this. Or like this, and folding the leg in. And if you have a hard floor like we have, you will see that you can't just put your leg down and then your knee will hurt, your ankle will hurt. So you need to slow the movement down. First come down a little bit, then slow down here also. So that your knee really hardly touches and doesn't slam into the floor. And then continue. So explore this movement a little bit on both sides, please.
Yeah,
Yeah. And continue, I will again say something. It's okay now if you feel stiff somewhere or you want to help your knee a little bit. It's okay to also use your hands a little bit, like Nick is showing. So also in going up, your hands can help. So you don't need so much force. Good. Now you stay with this movement, but only now you don't have time anymore. So I will shout, and as soon as you hear my shout, there may be a delay, it doesn't matter. As soon as you hear my shout, you should drop and go down. But the first reaction to the shout should always be this dropping in your body, like we did with the exercises Michael showed, like we always focus on when we use the weapons, to drop the feeling, drop into the body, drop into the ground. So stand any way you like. When you hear the shout, drop and then go down to the floor. Okay, ready? لا خرجوا. Okay, very good. Thank you. So Nick will take over.
So stand comfortable on the 2 feet. Search your length in the spine, but as Andrea said, a heavy center. And then start what we learned from Michael this morning a little bit, this wave from the center. The arms are in contact so that you move, relax knees, open shoulders, length in the spine. Just enjoy this movement to relax your lower back, hips, Feel both soles of your feet. Then you put the right foot forward, hummy, and do the same here. Connection to the arms. Then bring your hands forward as you would have a sword. But your center and your movement guides the sword. Spine stays long. Waving the body from the center. Good contact to the floor. Also space in the elbows. Long neck. Flexible knees. And then when the movement is right, do out of the movement a kaiten. Stay on the other side. And keep the movement fluid. Relaxed, calm, connected. And from time to time, in this smooth movement, change kaiten. Whenever the movement feels comfortable. So you do it out of your center, out of good connection to the floor, to the roots, out of the length of your spine. And then start to do it a bit more often. Keep shoulders open, spine long, contact to the floor, smooth movement. And then go a bit further into a tenkan. And in between, change feet with a kaiten to be on the other foot. And then choose yourself to kaitens, tenkans, as you like. Keep spine long, heavy center. Keep movement fluid. And then also from time to time add an irimi tenkan, so you can go forward by a step. And then you have 3 possibilities out of the movement: kaiten, tenkan, or irimi tenkan. And play with these 3 by keeping the roots, the connection with the feet, heavy center, open shoulder, long spine. And keep your hips alive, like you would have a ball inside your belly. But shoulders are open, proud, long posture. And use the flexibility of the hips like Michael showed it. And enjoy the turning, the variations, the different possibilities. Open your view in your space. And start to think of a partner in your space who is moving in a similar way.
Okay, so I'd like to show, especially with irimi tenkan, sometimes it's a bit a problem that people end up doing this kind of movement, so getting light here, like this. Well, it's good to raise up, also with the weapons, of course, to have a long spine here, but you shouldn't lose the ground here. So it's not this, but it's this. And I show you with a partner. So we could do irimi tenkan and stop in the middle. And here really be heavy. So this could also end up in going down in a technique, like down like this. Okay. So when you do irimi tenkan on your own, also think of, you might rise your hands or you do this, but keep the spine long, but also stay low. So stay low here, stay low here. And the same, for example, also with kaiten. So, like Nick said, the long spine, staying low. But I think with Irimi Tenkan is the most dangerous one, to lose the ground here and do this kind of ballet movement. So really more do it into the ground now. So try this, please.
Weź was.
Okay, good. And now for the last 5 minutes, try to explore these 3 𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗏𝗧𝗧. 7 minutes. You can use a weapon and do a kaiten like this, or you can do more Irimi Tenkan with cutting, or you can also use the weapon and do more kind of taijutsu movement. And try to focus really on the stepping and how your connection on the ground is. And so see what you can come up with for kaiten, for tenkan, and for Irimi Tenkan. What kind of movements, with or without the sword. Onegaishimasu.
Onegaishimasu.
Now see if those of you who have used the weapon can try without the weapon, and those who have done it with a weapon, do it without. Who have done it without a weapon, do it with a weapon. So just change. Okay, and now to finish off, we do what we usually do in the beginning, Tano Henko, which is of course just a Tenkan movement. But you can come from this place like we did in the beginning, so loose hip and then do Tano Henko. Loose and go into Tano Henko. And once you've done this, you can also do loose and do Morotedori Kokyu. Loose, kaiten. Kaiten, Morotedori Kokyu. So just as an inspiration. Ishimasu. Okay, so that was it from our side, from Kokoro Dojo Zurich. I hope you enjoyed. So we will have a 10-minute break, I think, until the next class. Is that right?
Yes, that's right.
Good. Let's bow out. どうもありがとうございました。
どうもありがとうございました。
I think 5 minutes.
5 minutes. Oh, okay, sorry.
Thank you, Andrea. Thank you, Nick.
Thank you both. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Andrea, I really need to get back my flexibility. I'm so stiff.
Well, that's the illness, no, I guess also.
Yeah, maybe. But your exercises are very good for it. Thank you.
Thank you. Only 5 minutes, right? Okay.
Yeah, 5 minutes, yeah.
I need some drink.
Tenemos audio y vídeo, ya. Mira, ahí yo creo que nos vemos bien. A ver, tiro para atrás. Vete para atrás.
Luis, ¿qué tal?
Hola, muy buenas. Muy bien, gracias. ¿Todo bien?
Todo bien. ¿Y ustedes? ¿Todo bien? Muy bien.
Aquí con mi amigo Asiel.
Sí, sí, lo veo, lo veo. Hola.
Lo veo, lo veo. A ver, más un poquillo para atrás que le vea. Yo creo que perfecto.
Sin barba, ¿verdad?
No, es que es increíble como lo tienes controlado. ¿Bajamos un poquito para que se vean los pies o no?
Vamos a un pelín más.
Sí. Ya que estamos. Vale. Vale.
Mira, es que se va para arriba otra vez. ¿Ahora muy bajo?
Sí, sí.
Yo creo que aquí estamos perfectos.
Estamos en este área.
Okay, so I think we start in like 1 minute or so, because people are still on break.
Yeah.
That's great.
I think we're good. I think we're good now, Paul.
Yeah. Okay. So let's start then. Good. Okay. So let's first bow in. So. Okay. So for this last class, the description of my class said we're going to do cool down. We're going to do some relaxation. Yeah, and that's the case. So the class is going to be divided in 3 parts. So first we're going to look at a specific technique. It's called the technique of Jacobson, which is really about learning the difference between relaxation and muscle tension. And it's a very useful technique that I also use in my practice as a physiotherapist. And it teaches people where they have a residual muscle tension. And these techniques are really useful also to learn more about the muscle system, but also about where you have tension. So we will do a couple of exercises, then we will relate this to our Aikido. And for the last part, we will do a full body relaxation, lying on the ground, doing the technique. And I will guide you through it. Okay, so that's the plan for today, for the last class. So we have been doing a lot of Aikido already. We have been training already quite for some time. So what I want you to do is I want you to become more in a relaxed vibe now. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at a technique which is called Jacobson, and you're going to build up muscle tension until a level, until a high level, and then you're going to relax in one go, and then you will end up with a lower muscle tension as the tension you started with. So it's a way to increase tension, and then by releasing it, you become more relaxed. Yeah, so it's really quite accessible. So we're going to work first through the body. So just stand in a square. Just keep your arms relaxed, and then first make tension in your quadriceps, so the muscles on the front side of the upper leg. So you just tense them, yeah, and then you release. So you hold it for 5 seconds, and then you release. So hold it for 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and relax. And with the relaxation, really feel that you're dropping in the ground. So like also what Michael was talking about, really have a sense of opening up to the ground. So by creating this big difference between tension and relaxation, you really experience a feeling of dropping. So really focus at the end. Okay, so now we're gonna also add the pelvis. So first you're gonna do the same with the legs. You're gonna tense up, then you're gonna tilt your pelvis by creating tension in your abdominal muscles and in your buttocks. And hold it for 5 seconds again. And release. And you release it in one go. And you really feel that everything is going down. So there's a sense of opening up to the ground. Yeah, so one more time. So the legs. So tense up the legs, tense up the buttocks and the abdominals. Feel that your pelvis is tilting. Tense up, and then release. And focus at the end on the dropping sensation. So really feel that this increases the contact with the ground. So we're going to add one more, and that's the fist. So you're going to make a fist. So first you're going to do the quadriceps. So you're going to tense up the leg muscles again. You're going to tilt the pelvis. You're going to make tension in your abdominals and your buttocks. Then you also make a fist. Your chest muscles are also a bit tense for 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Release. And focus at the end, if you combine these exercises, what it does to your body. Yeah? So do this a couple of times at your own pace. So try to combine those exercises and feel the drop to the ground. Really feel after the movement, you are more centered, you have a deeper contact with the ground. Okay, so we're gonna add one more thing to this. So now you're gonna start all the way from your legs all the way up. So you always work from downwards to the upper body. So now you're gonna add your breathing also with it. So you're gonna tense up your quadriceps. You're gonna tilt your pelvis, make tension in the back of the butt and the abdominals, the chest and the fist, and then you breathe in. And release it in one go. Yeah, so you're gonna finally add on top the breathing, and when you release, you just breathe out really as long as you can, really going even deeper into the ground. Yeah, try this. Okay, and if you become dizzy of doing this too much, then stop for a while. Yeah. Feel the sense of dropping. And really focus on breathing out through the lips. Make it a long exhale. Don't try to hold anything, just really release the ground and also in your breathing. And feel what this does to your body. That's it. That's very good. That's it, Adrian. That's good. Very good. Okay, so everyone is getting this, and this is also quite an easy technique, and it's really accessible to do this. But it can really help you to also find out where you were tensed, but you didn't know that you were tensed. So this is interesting. So what I want you to do now is I just want you to focus on some Tai-Jutsu. So you just do Tai-Jutsu and just do the second one for now. So just the final ankle motion. And you don't add anything, you just do it as you always have done. So just focusing on just moving and feel where you are most tense. So is it more in the leg? Is it more in the upper area where you're holding it? And, or are you tilting over? Or just notice where you are having tension, either by compensating for your posture, or just from moving from above. So just feel, yeah? And don't try to change something already, but be really critical on where the tension is. Okay, very good. So now let's add this technique to it. So you're gonna stand in Hanmi. So you're just gonna do the same thing as before. So you're gonna extend your arms. So you're gonna first start from the legs. So you tense up the legs, you tense up the buttocks, you tense up the abdominals, you tense up the chest and the arms. And when you release, you move. Yeah, so you move when you're releasing the tension. Yeah, so you finish deeper in the ground. So you start from a place where you tense up the legs, buttocks, abdominals, chest and arms. Release, and then move. And at the end, take 5 seconds to notice if there's a difference between the first one without the technique and with the technique. Yeah. So focus on so you will serve as your own control person in this case. So legs, pelvis, chest and arms. Release and move. Settle. Feel. Yeah? Onegaishimasu. Try this.
Onegaishimasu.
If you want to, you can also include the breathing, of course. You want to give an extra touch to it. Dropping into the ground and then moving from that place instead of moving from a place of tension. Okay, very good, very good. So you can use this, of course, for any technique you want. So you just have a starting point that's always the same, and then you learn by comparing the two forms. So the one where you did the exercise and where you didn't. So now you are free to do whatever you want. So for instance, you stand in Hanmi, and you say you want to look at 𝗧𝗔𝗘 𝗢𝗍𝗍. So you move in, you go down, stepping through. And of course, there's no partner to check this, but feel what we were talking about the whole day. Feel that if you're balanced, if you're dropping into the ground, and that you move from a place of being centered and quiet. So you can do whatever technique you want. I will just show you 𝗢𝗍𝗍 as an example. So I just move there, so I don't do the technique. Yeah, and then I do it again, and I focus on the same thing. So tensing the legs, tensing the abdominals and the buttocks, tensing the fists and the arms. And then moving from this place. And see what differs. So again, tensing it up, dropping and moving from there. Yeah? So you can do whatever technique you want. So you can do Iriminaga, or you can do Shionaga. So be creative. Do the form first without doing the technique, and notice what happens, and then add the technique and do it again. Yeah? Onegaishimasu.
Onegaishimasu.
So play around. Okay, so before we continue, I would like to hear some of your experiences with this. Do you notice a difference? Is there anyone who wants to say something?
Oh, I feel like I go deeper down. When I really relax muscles, everything is, my ground is opening up. That's the feeling inside.
Can you repeat that? I didn't get that.
So if I get this, and then it feels like the ground is opening up, so I feel connected to a bigger area of ground when I do the.
Great, that's good. That's good. Excellent. And any other comments or questions? Or no questions, just experiences.
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
I feel similar like Johnny, but the question I have is, maybe I'm wrong again. We were not supposed to tense up. Before.
No, but look. This is an exercise. So it's an exercise to learn that if you build up tension deliberately, you let it go, you'll go to a deeper sense of relaxation.
That's the thing. That's why I feel much more relaxed and much more grounded. But at the same time, I'm not supposed to, I'm not supposed to build tension in Aikido. So how do we balance it? That's my question.
Oh, that's a very good question. So after a while, when you become better at this, you don't have to do it anymore.
Okay.
Because then your muscle system knows the relaxation, so you don't have to tense up anymore. Okay. But then you can go straight away there.
Okay, thank you.
So that's a very good question. Thank you. Good. Okay, so let's also try this. Also, we're doing a sword cut, so it's a bit of the same format. So you just cut wherever you want. Yeah. So feel free to do cuts through the space where you are, yeah, and don't do this exercise yet. Just feel what's going on. Just feel in your body. Yeah, so you're free to do whatever you want, but just feel where's the tension, where's your breathing, and where's the ground. Yeah, onegaishimasu.
Onegaishimasu.
Okay, very good. Okay, so now you're going to do the same thing, but now you're going to add this exercise. You don't have to do it the whole time. Just a couple of times when you're standing, you tense the legs, the belly, the buttocks, the arms, the chest, and then you release. You make a couple of cuts, and you just notice the difference afterwards. So you can also do one cut and then stay still for 5 seconds to feel the difference, or do a couple. So you stand, you tense up, and you feel what's different. So you should have the sense that your feet are opening up a bit more. You have a sense of dropping. And you also have the sense of still being long. Yeah. So just focus on tensing up, breathing in and out. Yeah, try this. We'll play around. Okay, just one point about this. So there are multiple ways of doing it, of course. So the way we just did it is that you tense up and then you make a cut. Yeah. So if you have difficulties finding the relaxation, you can also make it easier and start from this place here. And so you start from here. You tense up. And then you drop down. Yeah, so then you make the motion smaller and you have more chance of getting it. So you can also stand here, tense up the legs, the pelvis, the abdominal muscles, the glutes, chest, and then drop forward. Yeah, this is also a good way of really feeling the falling motion of the sword. Yeah, so if you want to make it easier, try this. If you can find it by just moving around with the sword, by all means do that. Yeah, so a couple more minutes. Andrea. And at the end, make sure you stand still for a couple of seconds to feel the difference between the tension and the relaxation. Really feel the draining into the ground, stability, feeling centered. Okay, very good, very good. Okay, so for the last part of the class, I would like to invite you to lay down on your back or sit in a chair, whatever you think is most comfortable. Because we're gonna do this technique, but now we're gonna do it like a full relaxation technique, the way that it is intended. So please get comfortable and just focus on your body and my voice. I'm going to guide you through this technique. So we're gonna end the seminar in a really, well, the first day at least, in a very relaxed manner. So really just lay on your back and put your arms next to your body in a relaxed manner. The legs are extended, your head is touching the ground. Or when you are sitting, make sure that your legs are in your knees are in an angle of 90 degrees. There's no strain on your legs. Your arms are resting either on the chair or on your lap. And you just have a sense of releasing yourself into the ground. First, take a deep breath from the nose. So you breathe in and out through the lips. And you have a sense of exhaling fully. And you repeat that a couple of times in your own pace. Breathing in through the nose. And breathing out through the lips. At your own pace. Slowly feel that your body is getting a bit heavier. And feel that maybe you're also getting a bit more warm, or it doesn't have to be like that, of course. And then I will guide you through some exercises. We're gonna tense up a couple of areas in the body, big muscle groups. And when I say release, you just release it in one go. And you try to focus on the relaxation part. So, as I said previously, we're gonna start with the lower body. So you pull your toes towards you, you curl your toes, and you hold it for 5 seconds. So you curl up, hold it, hold it, hold it, and relax. And if you want to combine this with breathing, then please go ahead. So you breathe in during the tension phase, and you exhale during the relaxation phase. So one more time, you pull your toes towards you, pull in, pull them towards you, breathe in, make tension, and release. And take some time to notice the feeling, the difference you feel between the tension and the relaxation, the opening up of the feet, and just relax. Okay, we're gonna go through the body. We're gonna go up a little bit to the back of the knees. And if you have any complaints with your knees, please don't force it, just do it gently. If you don't have any problems, try to see where you feel comfortable. Don't push it. So you press your knees down, press the back of your knees down into the floor. You press down, press down, press down, press down, and release. And again, feel relaxation part. Feel the difference between the tension and the relaxation. Feel how the tension drains away from you while you release. So let's do this again. You push your knees down and you inhale, push down, push down, push down, push down, and release. And notice the difference. Feel the tension going away, slipping away into the ground, draining away from your body. Just focus on the relaxation part now. Focus on your breathing, slow pace breathing. Between the exercises, you don't have to strain or whatever, you just have to relax and have a regular breathing pattern. I'm going to go up a little bit again. So we already focused on the feet and on the knees. Now we're going to go to the buttocks. So you're going to tense your buttocks. So you probably will be lifted a little bit from the ground, but you tense up your buttocks. Please do it. Tense up, tense up, tense up, and relax. And feel the draining into the ground. And feel how this one also really affects your breathing pattern. This is a really important one. So we're going to do this again, of course. So breathing in, tensing up your buttocks, tensing them up. Hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it, and relax. And feel the difference between the tension and the relaxation. Feel how it flows away from you, the tension. And feels how your body becomes heavier every time you do this. Focus on the muscle groups we've just been through. Feel the difference from with the start. And we're going to go up a little bit. We're going to go to the chest. So with your arms relaxed next to you, try to create tension in your chest. So you make tension in your chest, you tense up, tense up, tense up, tense up, and release. And again, feel the difference between the relaxation and the tension. And you get even into a deeper state of relaxation with this technique. Nothing to do, just relaxing. Do it one more time, breathing in, tensing up the chest muscles, tensing them up, tensing them up, tensing them up, tensing them up, and release. And again, focus on having a easy breathing pattern. Just relax. Feel your body getting heavier with each technique, with each muscle group becoming more and more relaxed. And then finally, you go to the fists. So you open up, your palm of your hand faces up. You make a fist and you create tension in that fist. So tense up, tense up, tense up, tense up, and release. Feel the tension really draining away from you, extending through your hands into the ground. One more time, take a deep breath. Take a deep breath and tense up,
Roger, take care.
tense up, tense up. Make a fist, tense up, tense up, tense up, and relax. And again, focus on the difference between the tension and the relaxation. And for the last exercise, we're gonna combine the exercises. So this will even have a bigger impact on your relaxation state. So first, you're gonna curl your feet towards you. You're gonna push your knees into the ground. You're gonna tighten your buttocks. You're gonna tense up your chest. You're gonna make a fist, and you're gonna tense up, tense up, tense up, tense, 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 and release. And feel the difference between tension and relaxation. And feel the intensity of this one. Feel the intention being even greater now that you combined the exercises together with each other. Let's do it one more time. So you're gonna curl your toes towards you, push your knees down, create tension in your buttocks, in your chest, make a fist, hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it, and release. And focus on the tension draining away from your body. Focus on your breathing. Slow breathing pattern with the belly. Getting bigger when you breathe in, getting more flat when you breathe out. And you just relax. Just relax. Your body might feel heavier or a bit warmer. Just enjoy the relaxation that you feel. And you slowly move your head from side to side, really slowly. You might want to wiggle your toes a little bit. And then put your feet on the floor with the feet together and the knees together, opening up the arms to the side, and you drop both your knees gently to one side and just twist your spine and make your head go the other way. Do it in a relaxed manner. And try to see if you can combine it with breathing. So when you do the move, you do the breathing, you breathe out slowly. And then really gently, don't rush, don't be in a rush. Come into a sitting position. Also by breathing out, you come up. Focus on doing it carefully, slowly. And if you have a kitty like Dilaire, ask if he or she joins you. Oh, that's very nice. Okay. Okay. So this was my class. Yeah, I hope you can use this the dynamics of this technique in your training when you're exploring techniques and when you're exploring being grounded, being centered. So it's a fun and accessible way, I think, to explore your body and your muscle tension. Yeah, and then also I hope you enjoyed the relaxation exercise. So yeah, I don't know if there are any questions at the moment about anything we did.
I have a comment on the relaxation part when during the taijutsu. I had the feeling that I can more easily move from complete stillness when I'm relaxed. So that was really great experience.
Good to hear. Nice. That's great. Awesome. Good. Okay. Well, thank you for participating in this session. I think at the moment we also have the Q&A for 10 more minutes, if that's correct. I think
it is. Yes, correct.
So, looking back at all the classes, are there any questions? I think this is the time that if you want to comment or ask something about a class, then please feel free to react. Or it was all crystal clear, of course, which is also also fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
I enjoyed all the classes very much. It's the first online seminar I'm taking part in, and I'm really impressed how well this is possible.
Great.
Awesome.
Very good to hear.
Welcome.
That's good to hear.
That's very nice. Any other things? Or is there one of the teachers who wants to share something, or? Okay.
First of all, I wanted to thank you, Paul, for an excellent class. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
And I had the experience after this relaxation exercise in the end. I had the experience, I was just a heap of bones on the floor in the end. It was really like everything else was relaxed away into the ground. So it was only the bones left.
Great. Good to hear. Very nice.
And we had the chance of training together. And we, when I was tensing up, I could feel this can also be like almost a tool to start a technique. So you are grabbed, and instead of moving from relaxation, you can build up tension first. And then once you relax, the partner kind of falls into a hole almost. So wow. Then the technique gets even easier.
Wow, great. That's good to hear. That's good to play around with. Yeah, thanks for that. Very nice. Yeah.
And I enjoyed the last class very much because I do a lot with relaxation exercises in my everyday life.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a great idea how to implement this into Aikido. Thank you very much.
Welcome. Thank you. Thank you for your feedback. Great. Okay.
Also, as said before, I enjoyed the other classes, and I think every class has something to take into the regular practice. The combination of open-handed work and sword in the first, and the combinations of fourth and other josuburi in the second, and combination of open hand and sword again in the third. So it was everything great. Everything was great.
Very good to hear. Thank you.
Thank you, Christian.
Thank you very much for your time.
Yeah, I am also me as a teacher. As the I really enjoyed all the classes. The one from Michael, Brendon, and of course from Nick and Andrea was really, really nice. And I think there was a good relationship between the classes too. It felt, even though we were doing it through this digital platform, it really felt connected, like we were one group. So thank you for that. Really, really nice.
Actually, we are really one group. I feel it really.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah.
I really appreciated the spirit of the whole group, and everybody's working together. And I really feel you are there, all of you. And that's a great experience. Thank you for that.
Very nice. Thank you.
Something's formulating in my head that I'm not quite sure if I'm ready to express, but I'm going to give it a shot about what you were doing with us, Paul. Mm-hmm. Which is, one of the things that strikes me is that there's a possibility of taking this even further into more finely defined, more into smaller muscle groups. We can play with this ourselves, thinking about some of the ways that I work with very minute muscle identification in my yoga class, and thinking about how we can, where we individually have little locks in our and stiffnesses that we might well have observed today, for example, around the knees, how we can identify really clearly some muscle groups to work on with this tension and release idea. It's just something that's been occurring to me.
Yeah, that's a very good point, I think, because when you start with this stuff, then you want to make it easy. So you really just go for the big muscle groups to make it accessible, to get the principle, and then afterwards, then if someone is more skilled, then you can also go for smaller muscle groups, and you can also play around with releasing the tension in a different way. So you can, for instance, not saying tense up and relax, but you can also say relax halfway and then relax totally. So you can also play with the intensity levels. So so yeah, that's a very good point. Yeah.
I remember a seminar of Lewis. Can you hear me or not?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we do.
And I remember a seminar of Lewis where he was playing around with this a little bit, where you were doing technique, for instance, Ikkyo, Shomunushi Ikkyo, and the technique would grind to a halt where you would tense up and the partner would sort of reflect that tension. So you kind of couldn't move anymore. And he would say, like, okay, take this moment, hold the position, but relax. And you could feel the tension drain from your body. You wouldn't think of the technique for a moment, but also your uke would sort of drain automatically, kind of as a reflection. And then you could actually continue the technique because you would feel it open up again. And he did that with a couple of techniques. That was
great.
It kind of feels like it touches upon what we did the last hour.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think that's also what Andrea said. I think it's a bit the same thing. So yeah, very good point. So it's also interesting to use this in partner work. I think absolutely. I'm really looking forward to trying this out myself when possible again. Yeah.
I think the theme across the 4 classes, with obviously looking at RIAI and having the pattern between what you do the weapon, what you do taijutsu, what you do taijutsu, how it all blends together as one system, like individual systems that have correlation between one another, and I thought it was great. But I thought the overall theme across all the classes, without even kind of planning it to say, was the fact that the relaxation within your own body is a massive factor in what you can produce, and you have to spend in every aspect of Aikido that you're training, and then also outside of Aikido, to kind of spot and treat those elements of tension throughout. And I think that kind of came up in everything from the warm-up with Michael, looking at kind of really getting into a taste, coming out and then dropping into it, coming out and dropping in, and having that feeling of when you drop in, don't get tense. When you come back out, don't hold tension. And it was and then we did it with some of myself with the class, looking at having no restrictions between from movement A to movement B, kind of having that ability to move throughout those. And then into Nick and Andrea's, obviously looking at serious movement with kind of the flow and the hips being mobile, and then getting a point of movement without deciding when it is there, just doing it because it feels right to move. And then obviously now into relaxation class and having that feeling of, right, okay, so you're getting really tense, feel how that feels, remove the tension, and now see how easy it is to move. And for me personally, with the Bokken and going into like the ski positions, either both from the 6th and 7th 𝗧𝗔𝗓, I think, that's what I found really interesting. Tensing up and then releasing, and then finding the ski was so much more sensitive to find that movement because of that. So I thought the overall theme of that lack of tension, I think, looks like it's a bigger thing than what I thought it was originally. For sure.
Yeah, just to say as well, I mean, all the classes were really great. Actually, I think, yeah, like everyone says, well, there was a kind of thread running through all the classes, which was really nice. And I think the real strength of this training online, I mean, we're doing it online, but we're actually doing solo training, all of us. I mean, you've got a partner, you can train with them, of course, but the key to this is solo work, solo training. And what we're really training is the principles. So although we're doing RIAI and we're doing weapons, translating into body work, the key work is the principles and training those. So this idea of relaxation is really the kind of overall principle for me. And this idea of calmness. So it's kind of interesting to see that kind of come out that we didn't even plan it. So that was kind of really nice actually to see kind of come out. So hopefully we explore it tomorrow as well, which would be nice.
Cool. So, are there any more pointers?
Yes, Brendon.
Yeah.
I would like, I'm Saudi from Morocco. I would like to thank all the teachers. It was very great. And the classes was very, very nice, and I enjoyed it really. And there was a lot of relaxation and a lot of things that changed my manner of doing movements and the practice in Aikido. At the moment when Paul do the relaxations, I feel my body change, and when I do some movement like EQ, I feel very relaxed, and it was very nice experience. And excuse me for my bad English.
No, it's very good. No, it's very good.
Thank you.
Oh, brilliant. Well, thank you for your comments. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Lovely. Okay, great. Well, I believe we can probably close today's session and prepare for tomorrow. So see you all again, and make sure you got the times correct.
Yeah.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you, all of you. It was pleasure and appreciated. So see you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you very much. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Bye, guys. See you tomorrow.
See you.
Bye.